So we continue to pray for Cameroon. Pay attention more, because if you're a foreigner, you live in the country. The events that have been plaguing this nation, Cameroon,
shall continue due to moral and political compromise. Write it down, capital letters.
Remember, before the event started, I told you 2-3 years before it started. So I know the inside out of everything. If we're in a nation where leaders respect prophets, they can say, send for that man of God. Let him come and tell us the way out. We will tell them. I'm not the only one. The other men of God that have way out, God has spoken to them. But we are not acknowledged. And so even the things that God tells us red, sometimes we make them yellow to save our head. And I'm a man of God. So I'm entitled and licensed both by the state and by God to declare the mind of God. That's why I am called man of God. So, again, the events plaguing the nation, this great nation called Cameroon, shall continue. That is what God told me. And he said the reason why they will continue is due to moral and political compromise. The solution to the crisis is available, but it is still far-fetched. The solution to the current political upheaval in the nation is available, but it is still far-fetched. We are not ready to solve the crisis, and this will lead to further crisis within the nation. When a man of God speaks, how do you know this is a man of God talking? When people were running from here, jumping to the Francophone region, saying that election has come, they were running from Francophone region, coming here, that there is going to be war. Did I not stand here and tell you that you should forget about that? Did I not tell you that forget about that? I told you that there is nothing like that. I told you. 1 week before the election result to be announced, I said, tell the people that are there to relax. Nothing will happen to them. And I told you that where they will be shaking in that part, and shaking, but by the time I gave that prophecy, the demon that was to cause bloodshed was caged. That's what I told you also. The prophecy is still in writing. And I told you that by January, it will appear as if nothing ever happened. But occasionally they will quarrel, but the power to destroy will not be there. Have you heard any bloodshed there? But they started now. They blocked their own roads for some time, for some days, and did that. Did it go anywhere? No. So what I'm telling you is something I've seen, so I don't speak like somebody who's doing guesswork. Prophecy is a reported speech. I only report. Yes.
So, the crisis, if not adjusted, is going to escalate. And again, God said to me, the nation is not yet ready to solve the crisis. And this will lead to further crisis within the nation. That's why you need that sticker that I'm giving you. Storms everywhere, but you are taking care of yourself. And nothing is touching you. If care is not taken, the worst is about to happen in this country. Not only in the war zones, but also in other regions.
It is so sad. I saw mass national exodus. Remember, there was a time I spoke about rural exodus, which is people living from rural areas to urban areas. And if there is urban exodus, it means people are living from the urban areas to what? Rural areas. And if there is national exodus, it means people are living from one nation to the other. I saw a situation that looked hopeless. Write it down. And people began to run out of the country. Everyone was looking for his own way to go home. The youths became so hopeless that everyone just want to go. Mothers and fathers, families began to just let me go, let me go, let me go. I'm not releasing these things to frighten you, but it's just a vision. And if you know who is talking to you, you should know that he has proposal of solution. That is, to avert this. This is what God is saying. So all those things, all those questions will be answered, okay? So don't be dismayed. You are praying, and so you need to know what the year looks like so that you know how you go through the year. You are alive today because you knew how the past year will look like. And so you face the year with confidence. Hallelujah. Good. So the serious crisis is not only here in Cameroon. Other countries too, I began to see mass exodus. And there seems to be no hope. But he that shall endure to the last 3 months of the year shall begin to see a small light, which will be an indication that change is on the way coming. This new year, if I may speak, if I thought there is an area called the Francophone areas of Cameroon, they need a high level of security and intelligence. Four regions, to be precise: West, Littoral, Center, and the North. They need proper security, and we have to pray for special security to avert impending danger. And so they'll need strategic spywares and spy cameras at strategic position to avert certain things. And this thing is not connected to the election that just passed. It's just crisis. Do you see a situation where somebody will prefer to lock the children, the family in their house and come out to see how the outside look like, and will be peeping and trying to see how he can buy his head? Then, in another part of Cameroon, which is the northwest and the southwest, I see more pressure, particularly northwest and southwest. The military seem to dominate, but the question is, will they succeed? I will not answer that question. That question can only be answered by he who holds the destiny of the nation, and that is God. So if you are losing, don't cry because you are losing. If you are dominating, don't be happy because you are dominating. Anything can change by he who holds the destiny of the nation. I will not say anything more than that. This also is an advice. God showed me in a vision a very serious setup in which youths and school children were set up, disguised, and were used as a trap to
get civilians.
If 10 civilians went after the youths and the children, or the school children, only one came out and came out miraculously. I want to advise that issues concerning children and school children should be dropped this year. If not, blood is going to flow to a very dangerous frequency. It's a parable. You will see a child in school uniform going to school. You go to catch the child. Between that child and you, there is a hole that you have not seen. You end up not catching the child, but you find yourself in a hole where you only discover yourself in the other world. So be careful. Avoid anything that have to do with children and school children. And that's not all. I began to see a spirit. For some time now, God has been showing me this thing. I've been seeing a spirit begin to enter youths and school children, and they began their own revolution, and they say, we have been in the house for long, and we shall not continue to be in the house like this. That is why I am pleading to whoever you may be that is hearing this, and to tell whoever you may tell, and that we should be careful with our children. And let us learn as much as possible to help them this year. Not to destroy them, but to help them. But I see a spirit beginning to rise in the hearts of school children. And they become very aggressive. We can't be 3 years, going to 4 years in the house, not going to school. And the revolution becomes something unbelievable. So who are you going to face now? The children or your enemy? And the case will be very, very complicated. And I'm suggesting, from what I saw, if you see something like that, remove your hand from there. Because that is a trap. I put full stop on that one. So even though the crisis are not going to end this year, but like I said, towards the end of the year, last 3 or 2 months, there will be a spark. I remember some months back, I told you from the 14th of November, you see some light. This light. So please, it will start on the 13th November. You see some light. Could this be the end? Could this be the end? Now, everybody will be concluding that this is the end, but you know that the end has not yet come. But at least there will be a general sense of relief, while every other thing begin to fall into place gradually. If we hear, say a year. If we hear, say a year.